There are some things that I wish I knew when I was growing up that we're going to go over today, because there's something about that word confidence that I just don't feel like we're getting it right. So we're going to talk about it today, and hopefully we can bust some myths, we can break some walls down, and we can build up some confidence. So let's dive straight into it. So I'm going to first off start off by talking about the definition of confidence. So I'm going off of the definition from the Cambridge Dictionary, and it says confidence, noun, for those of you that actually care about these things, it's a noun. Confidence is the quality of being certain of your abilities or of having trust in people, plans, and the future. One more time for the people in the back. Confidence is the quality of being certain of your abilities or having trust in people, plans, or the future. Now, there are some things that everyone needs to know about confidence, and that is probably where we start, the definition. And the biggest takeaway for me that I've always believed to be trust, and they've now just confirmed it in this definition, is sorry, I just said a word, trust. Trust in your ability to show up at work, trust in your ability to show up in the, in the gym. Sorry, my mind's going blank. In the gym. My brain's like, da, 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 da. This is the 7th video I'm recording, guys, forgive me. Trust in your ability to be a good mother, trust in your ability to be a good friend, be a good sister, trust in your ability to get your work done on time, trust in your ability to show up when you need to show up and have boundaries and be able to implement those boundaries. Trust in your ability to basically be a good human being, a functioning and cooperative human being in society. Trust in your ability to do all of the above is confidence for me. And that also goes down to, you can even go externally, trust in your ability to look good in a certain outfit. And also, this is where trust doesn't really come into it, because it's not so much of a trust thing in terms of external confidence with appearance. So one of the things that they said was in your abilities, or having trust in people, plans, or the future. For me, when I was growing up, I struggled a lot with the way that I looked because I didn't trust other people's opinion of me. And I'm never one to advocate for external validation, and that's one of the points on the list as well. I'm never one to advocate for external validation. With that being said, there are times when you have to be able to trust other people's opinions of you if you cannot do it for yourself. Example, I didn't believe that I was attractive when I was growing up. So sometimes my friends or my family members would tell me like, you're very beautiful, and I'd be like, you lie, and you gotta say that because you're my mom, or because you're my friend, or whatever. And I had to learn to trust their word. I had to learn to trust that they knew what they were talking about. When they said that I'm beautiful, they meant it, and I had to trust someone else to basically validate my beauty until I could see it for myself. And when I used to have my company Worthy and More, one thing that I would always tell them, I just realized that I'm recording and the camera's not plugged in. The mic's not plugged in. And we're back. Y'all, the mic was not plugged into my phone. So for the first 3 minutes of that audio, the audio is going to be a little bit whatever it is. Hopefully it's clear enough anyway. But that was fun. Back to it. When I had my company Worthy and More, one of the things that I would always tell the girls is, if you're struggling to see your own worth, and again, we'll touch on this in a second, if you are struggling to see the value you have as an individual, that you are worthy and deserving of everything that is good, it is okay in that moment in time to allow people around you to reinforce, okay, this is where you have to trust people now. It is okay to allow people to reinforce that belief for you until you can hold it as your own truth. And I think that's absolutely fine. And I think it leans on the idea of being codependent in a healthy way, being able to trust someone else's opinion, trust someone else's word, being able to trust that that person isn't lying to you, and being okay with Sometimes, most of the time, I'm a very independent person, but sometimes I would like someone else to just take the wheel for a bit. That's fine. So if you're looking at your confidence and you're like, my confidence is so low, or I don't feel very good about myself, or whatever else, like, it's okay if you've got someone around you that you trust, that you know has the best intention for you, and that verbalizes it along the lines of what you actually want for yourself. Then it's fine for you to lean on what they say. And the reason that I say that, by the way, is because there are some people that can have really, really, really good intentions for you, but what they want for you is completely unaligned with what you want for yourself. So their intention might be in a good place, but their actions are steering you away from what your mission is in this world and why God put you here. So that's just another separate video. But yeah, it's okay to like lean on people around you that you trust and that you love and that you respect as well, and it's aligned. So that is one thing. So I wrote a little list about all of the things that I only wrote 4. There's probably 100 more that we can all think of, but I'm going to touch on these things, especially just from personal experience, in terms of what everyone should know about confidence when they're younger and now. Actually, first thing I said is you don't grow it through external validation. Now, it's funny because I just had a whole little spiel about it's okay to go for external validation. Let me just differentiate what I mean by the difference when I say the two. You can look to someone for a minute to help you fill in a gap that you can't see a way of filling it yourself for a moment in time. When it becomes a problem, and this is where you do not grow your confidence, when it becomes a problem is when you are depending on someone else's opinion to completely validate your existence, to completely tell you that you are worthy, you are amazing, you are kind. And if they don't say it on that one day, you fall apart. You start to break down, crumble. You don't believe it anymore. It can't be true. They must have been lying this whole time. If you're not actively working to seek your own validation, okay, then you will start to you'll become dependent on that other person. And it is unhealthy. That is where unhealthy codependency comes in. So you can look at like dependency in 2 different ways. You can look at it as like, okay, I'm looking at this person, and on this particular day, and I've had them many times, on this day, I'm just not feeling good about myself. I don't feel like I look attractive. My job isn't where I want it to be, and everything's falling apart. And I call my best friend. She is my hype woman. Like, she will hype me up and be like, you got this. Nothing you can't do. You've got this. And I'm like, yeah, she's right. I got this. And she'll just hype me up. Remember when you did this? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you did an amazing job. Remember when you did this? Yeah, did an amazing job. And she'll hype me up and she'll fill in that little gap on that particular day. When it becomes a problem is when every single day you cannot exist without someone telling you, you look nice today. Without someone saying to you, you did a really good job today. Without someone telling you, do you know what? I'm proud of you for doing that thing. You have to, at some point, learn how to validate your existence for yourself. Because when you're externally looking, you are giving away your power to other people. You are giving away people the opportunity to let you go, to drop you. And it's not even conscious. It's just sometimes someone else might be going through something really difficult and they might not have the energy to always hype you up every single day. Then you become somewhat of a burden. And no one wants to be a burden. Nobody wants to be a burden. So that is the first thing that I would say is don't get comfortable with external validation. It's okay to seek it in those little moments and little pockets of times and whatever else, but don't let it be the consistent way that you validate your existence. Next thing is people can't see you if you can't see yourself. Now, you need to learn how to learn who the hell you are. Like, I know that there are a lot of women out there in this world that genuinely don't know who they are. They don't know what they want from their world. They don't know what they want from their family, from their spouse, from their friends. They don't know what they want. And they'll tell you one thing, they'll do another thing, or they'll say, one thing, and then they'll completely go against it. And it's like, I can't see the real you because you're not presenting her to me. I can't see the real you because you are not her. Like, you're contradicting yourself every single day. And when we're talking about confidence, if you can't see yourself, okay, so you can look really, really confident. Like I said before, I used to be very, very confident. People would think that I'm the most confident person in the world. And then they would catch you in another setting and they'd be like, Nalia, why are you acting like you're shy? And I'm like, because I freaking am. Because I am. And it's because I hadn't stepped into my own yet in that particular area of my life. And that left people confused because it was like, okay, so which one is it? Who is Nilisa? You can't be both at the same time, right? You can go in between the two, right? You can have your shy moments and your nervous moments and whatever else, but the baseline version of you has to have some sort of consistency to her. So if you don't know who you are, other people can't. Like, they're just never going to know who you are if you don't know who yourself is. So, who yourself is. Who yourself is. Wow, that was very interesting English. We're going to go with it. Build trust in your bounce back rate and your ability to get shit done. Okay, so this goes directly back to confidence is trust. Your bounce back rate is how long it takes you, the rate of time it takes you to bounce back from a situation that has knocked you down. So there can be times where life feels like it's falling apart, shit's not going well, everything's not working in your favor, and you just feel like, I just can't, I'm drowning, blah, 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 blah. The time it takes for you to go from everything's not working out well for me to I know where I'm going next and starting to make the move in the right direction, that is your bounce back rate. What you want to do is over time you want to learn how to close that gap until it's like almost like a switch. You're still able to process your emotions. You're not, disregarding how you felt in that time. You're not suppressing anything. You're dealing with it in a healthy way, but you're also being proactive. You're also being moving in the right direction and keeping the ball rolling, basically. So that is one thing. And then you also have to learn how to trust your ability to get shit done, which is literally what my note says. Trust your ability to get shit done. If you feel like, okay, I'm not really the best at my job, why not? Why are you not the best at your job? You should be the best at your job. And if you're not, what do you need to do to close that gap? So do you need to start shadowing your manager so that you can learn more tasks, or you learn what she does or he does? Is it because you need to be learning how to lead a team? So then that means you need to basically be doing more people management courses or whatever it is, reading books, getting out there. Be proactive with the life that you want to lead. And the only way you're going to do that is by trusting you in your ability to get things done, building up your confidence by trusting you in your ability to get things done, and then also shortening your bounce back rate. And the fourth thing that I wrote, work on your self-worth, understanding that simply for existing, you deserve good things. So obviously my company before was Worthy and More, and we spoke about like confidence quite a bit. A lot of the girls were like, hey, I feel like I'm confident, but I don't know if I have a high level of self-worth. And some of the other girls were like, what the hell is the difference? I thought they were all the same thing. They're not. Your self-worth is the belief that you hold about yourself internally. It's the way that you exist in this world. Self-worth says that you deserve to have the best of the best of the best simply for existing, simply for being a child of God. You deserve to have love. You deserve to have wealth. You deserve to have the best health. You deserve to have respect, care, empathy, positive energy around you. You deserve to have all of the good things just for being. Some people might even call them human rights, as like if you've written it in a book, right? You would call it human rights. So your basic rights are those things that I've just mentioned. That is your self-worth. People can have a really low self-worth, and it will impact the way that you view yourself and the way that you interact with other people as well. Your confidence, on the other hand, is a bit more like trusting your ability to get your job done. Doesn't have much to do with believing that you are worthy of respect. Like, you can still fill out the paperwork really, really well, right? So you can still do your job very, very good. It's just whether you believe that you deserve to have a good paycheck, whether you believe that your co-workers should be treating you well, whether you believe that you should have boundaries and people should respect them. Those are things that are around self-worth. But your ability to get your job done on a basic level, that's just your confidence within your job, right? So they do interlink, and you always want to have them on a higher level as opposed to a low one, but there is a slight difference between the two, but they are quite interchangeable. So I would definitely focus on building up your self-worth. Like, if you feel, because you might be really good at filling out paperwork, so you're an Excel genius, but when it comes to your co-worker talking to you a certain kind of way, you kind of just allow it to happen because you don't believe that you deserve to have respect. You don't believe that people should treat you well. The second you implement a boundary with that person, the second you tell that person to sit the fuck down and shut the hell up, okay? In a nice way, of course, don't go in and do that and then reference this video back to your manager. But the second that you start to implement those boundaries, you'll feel so good about yourself. You'll skip into work, and then you'll give 10 times more to your job. You'll give 10 times more, and it won't feel like it's a chore or a burden. It will just feel like something that you naturally do because that's just who you are. And that's a good space to leave this video. If there's anything else that you guys feel like, okay, we need to cover this topic, drop it in the comments. But until then, besitos.